Okay, let's go to your. I know that you have NDA contracts, but maybe you can tell us some stars with whom you already worked
So
here.
when we started that business, my whole mindset was working with musicians and in the music world. Since I've been doing that for touring for almost 15 years back before US. So, but I didn't know how to get there. I understood it's pretty close,
Yeah,
even doing.
they are your neighbors, but you don't know how to get there.
Yeah,
Right.
and even doing a birthday party for Rihanna was, it seems to be, yeah, that's very close. When you see, yeah, that's Mick Jagger dancing is crazy. That's moves like Jagger. That's really true. This is something that he's not doing only on stage when he's performing. When he's just having fun, it's moves like Jagger. Yeah.
So you were working at her birthday.
Yeah,
right?
that was her birthday. But doing the birthday and working on the tour or working on the performance, that's different things. And I still got into the music world, but through corporate. So it started to be more summits, conferences, and movie premieres and movie screenings, and then it also shifted to the music world.
Maybe which
again.
movie you were working on premiere, or maybe you can say
So
us.
yeah, we did Westworld and Euphoria premieres. We did Hamilton music premieres and after parties. We did lots of things for Disney, like Zombie 3, and lots of Netflix things, Stranger Things 2, and Icarus, the documentary that got Oscar. It's so many movies and so
Maybe
many
some star that we
interesting.
know, like some.
You know, I would say lots of interesting movies and actors and directors. Um, Guillermo del Toro, Nicole Kidman.
Cool.
A nice project where DiCaprio was a producer.
I know that you are thinking what you can say, so
Yeah,
I understand you
and
totally.
Ben Stiller, his project as a director, and he's also a very interesting person. Musicians also Elton John and Stevie Wonder, Billie Eilish, Beyonce, and
It's a lot.
it's a lot that you can't really say.
You can't remember what you can say.
Yeah, it's yes. Sometimes we did things with one of the biggest actors, and we can't even say anything because of these NDAs.
I know.
But they, yeah, they did Godfather movies. So yeah, we can say it this way, or yeah, we did certain interesting projects that are sometimes not really online or somewhere you cannot see them, and that's another thing that probably only Hollywood or Los Angeles or something like this place can give you this chances to do these kind of things.
Yeah, that's right. As you told at the beginning, that you saw here that's unlimited for your work.
Or sometimes you just I've been backstage where it was very dark during the show, and one person was started just talking to me, and we kind of had a nice conversation about 15 to 20 minutes about life, about everything, and I couldn't really see who is that, and kind of was really great. And then he said, "Oh, sorry, I have to go to the stage," and they announced him. Please welcome Martin Sheen. I go, okay, that was cool. Or sometimes you have a chance to do some projects. That I did the show with Jessie J. She's an amazing singer, and she was performing several songs. And the way we did all the production for her was so impressed her. So she was hugging me backstage, and my wife said, "What the hell? Is Jessie J hugging you?" I said, yeah, she was so happy about the work we did.
Cool.
So probably that's the
It's
key.
so inspiring that you achieve all these goals here and that you had done a lot of work here. Thank you for sharing. And hi, today we have a podcast with interesting guest. Please introduce yourself, your name, your company name, and your business. What it's about.
My name is Yurii Barybin, and I'm executive producer, and founder of company 1987 Masters. We've been doing events in Hollywood for more than 10 years. We found ourselves in mostly corporate industry, but we also do music and private events, but that's very interesting and very important part of our life and our work. I've been here in US for more than 10 years, and the journey we made with my family and my company is pretty exciting and interesting.
Cool. Okay. I'm excited to start it. Okay, maybe we'll start from the quick blitz questions and then we go forward, okay?
Okay.
You just can answer for one sentence or one word, it doesn't matter. Which will be more convenient for you. First business ever.
I think the first business I started when I was at school, and I tried to find some money to buy a guitar. So that was kind of my music was always my passion, and that time were a little hard for probably all the families in Ukraine, and finding some money for let's say a musical instrument that will give you it was more related like a fun and hobby than something that could make your career. But I knew that probably my life will be related to music somehow. So I thought that this is very important. So I started to do anything I could, from unloading, loading the boxes, from trying to sell different things like recordings or whatever I could find the way how to make money. I took a chance to do that because I had this dream to buy a guitar.
Mm-hmm. And how long it take time for you?
I didn't buy it.
You didn't buy it?
I didn't get a guitar, but this is what probably
that's how it started.
This is probably what started I've bought the guitar when I was not when I was a kid,
Okay.
but I bought it when I was way older, and I bought exactly the one that I wanted. That time taught me that when you have certain mindset that gives you that drives you, that's the key, and probably to find the ways to adapt and to be flexible to the situations. Probably that was the lesson that guitar taught me.
Yeah, sounds good. Money or passion? You already answered, but
yeah, I guess passion, because money, I can give you the idea about money. I think money is a fuel. When you dream about something, let's say going to some destination, you dream about destination and how you will enjoy it. You don't dream about the gas that you will put into your car.
Right, 100%. 3 books that change your mindset.
I would say the Bible, and it keeps changing the mindset, because this is a very deep book, and uh, becoming older or with a different experience, with a different time, you read it again and again and again, and getting new answers or getting deeper philosophy. What is
Yeah.
there? Uh, I would say books of Paulo Coelho. Those are pretty changing. Um, and I would say it's Bernard Werber, almost like several of his books, but they are related to each other, so can't tell you exactly which one. But when you start reading one, you just get the next one, and that also uh, it's not changing; it shifts your mind into I would say opens it more because you already had a mindset. You just can open it, shift it, or something really different happen in your life, so it twists completely in a different way.
Okay, got you. Simple question. What time did you wake up today?
Wake up around 6:30.
Okay.
uh, because yeah, yesterday I also read about that most successful people, they wake up early, and I think that also one of the keys, because
Yeah, we
you
will come back about this because it's interesting. How's your day look like? We'll come back at it.
uh
So go quick and then you already answered, but work for money or for joy?
you have to find the way how to make your work interesting, funny, and joyful for you. Otherwise, it doesn't really make sense unless it is something like a project, like you don't like it, but you already committed to it, right? You
Yeah,
cannot say no.
100%. It's really
Otherwise, you have, even if it's something you don't really like, you have to find at least something. That's like working um, with a client that you think it is this client is difficult, but to overcome that, you find something really good in this person, and you focus on that, and that gives you the an idea how to make this work.
yeah. Okay, let's try to go deeper. I see that you're already ready. So, can you take us back to the beginning, how your journey in the event industry starts?
So we started our company back in 2016. Um, that was a result of shifting from professional um, professional work to a business person, to a business owner. So my background is audio engineer and technical director for artists, music bands, and live shows back in Ukraine, Russia, Moldova, and lots of other countries where we did tours with my artists. So I've been always representing the artist side or the band side. And when we decided to move to US, that was in 2015, it was we thought to go on vacation in CLA, and that appeared to be um, a decision-making vacation when we understood that we want to stay here, because we didn't feel any limits in this city. That
Right.
was
Yeah.
that was way different feeling from other places that we thought about, and meaning my family to I didn't have to convince my family to move here, because we kind of everything was very obvious. And from the very first day, I met one friend and he said, "Oh, let's open the company." I haven't ever thought about going opening the company because I work for the artist, and I started to think about that as a transition from just a professional person who just building the career to the person who's building the business. And I saw how easy the businesses are built here in US, and how many entrepreneurs could get successful here because of the mindset, because of the laws, because of opportunities, and because of no limits. So that shifted our mine and my family into this direction. So probably, yeah, this idea of starting the company became obvious for us because this is how it worked, how the best works here in US. Because when you work for a corporation, that's another path, but I think it's a little bit longer. And for someone not from US, it is probably harder.
So, and your friends asked, he said to you that let's start the business, and what's happened next?
So he offered to start a business.
Yeah.
He had lighting background. I had audio background, and we both knew video. So we decided to go into audiovisual and tech company, but having a background with cinema and television, I started to push that into the creative direction as well. So combining these things together made it way stronger. And
so first year you were working and hiring people too, or you were just by yourself?
yes, because during the first years or a couple of years, you understand that there is the way to work harder and work more. I've been sleeping for maybe 3 to 4 hours a day, and at that time it seems to be okay. Then after maybe like 10 years, you feel, oh, probably that was not the best idea, because you have consequences of that a little later in your life. But at that time, you think, yeah, I have to work all the hours possible. But every person is limited with the time. So time is only 24 hours a day, and you still need to sleep, and you still need to eat. You still need to do some things that are not related to your work. So the way to move forward and scale is only to build systems and hire other people to do more events. You can maybe do 1 or 2 event a day, right? But hiring people, that first of all shifts your mind to the business owner, not just someone who does the job. And then you hire people, but then you want them to do the job the way you do it, and that's almost impossible. So you have to find people that have similar values than you. You have to explain your values, and that's the way how you build your teams that then execute the event. And when the event is complicated, you obviously cannot do it by yourself. When you have 30, 50 people doing the awards show or summit, it's a different scale and a different mindset how to run this events.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and when you just come, you started, you said that you should to prove that you are professional, and how was your journey? How did you get the clients? How do you attract them to work with you? Because you don't have any proofs here, any cases. So how did you start from the scratch here?
So the clients somehow started to get to us from our friends or from kind of a networking, and that sometimes it was a little slow but good process, because our business is more, when people try to work with us, they don't want to work with others. So that's something you can't really that's like taking a picture and saying, we have a really good sound system. How you can explain the sound system from the picture? You cannot. You have to hear that. Right. And that's the only way to do it. So this is something similar. So when you start doing it with us, then you understand how good it is.
Why do you think people get hired you once again, when they hire you and then they decided to hire you more and more?
I had several interesting cases that our clients did a summit or did a fashion show with us, and they asked, "Oh, do you travel?" I say, "Yeah, we do. We can go other states." Why do you ask? Because you really care about the event and you treat it like it's your own. And we have a show in New York next month, and we would be happy to do it with you. So that gives the idea that when something happens and there is your name there, we treat it as our own event. We don't think that it's our clients and only our client is responsible for everything.
Right.
We take the responsibility for the part we do, and we treat it as our own project. And I think that makes it totally different for them because they really feel that we care about it.
How do
My
you push
thing,
in all of this, like all the time? Like, maybe you have some hard times or something like that. I know that you are trying to be more positive, but
I would say hardest time when I work with people and they don't do what they promised. So I either have to figure out and replace someone and or do something myself. When I know this thing, this topic, this professional part, and I
you're
can
talking about
fix
team
it,
or
and I can fix it, that's easy. If I don't know and I have just to find someone to replace, that's probably the hardest part. At certain moment for me was hard to fire people. I had a guy who worked for me for a long time, and I couldn't do it. That was just against my personality. I couldn't even explain it in the business way because I always had a good relationships with people, even people who I hired, who I worked for. So for me to fire someone, that was really hard. Working with clients, sometimes you're getting really interesting clients, especially here in US. Everyone is pretty nice in the beginning, but then when you start working and the process goes, the project goes goes crazy. Sometimes the deadlines and everything. So sometimes people cannot handle it, and handling the client. That's another very important thing that maybe you have to have a talent for that, or you can also learn certain things how to manage that. And I decided even to write a book about it. It is called 10 Difficult Clients and How to Manage Them in Hollywood. Because that's also a specific niche of events and shows and everything. And this niche is very quick, and live shows and everything has to happen right now. Pretty stressful for the crew, for the clients, for everyone. And having the specific techniques to certain types of clients makes the life easier for people who do the service and work with clients and
yeah,
for the
right. You
clients
said
too.
before maybe you have some red flags about hiring people. Maybe you can share some tips.
I think when people talk a lot and they say that they know everything, that's pretty red flag because I guess
Right. Yeah.
when you do certain job in this field and you're applying to the job, let's say for audio engineer, um, if you already know something from video or lighting or you know how to cook, don't say
yeah,
don't say
right. Even if you know something, more you know, more you understand that you know nothing.
But I mean, if you're applying for the job that is focus on that first, and then when you will get the job, you can tell that you also know lots of other stuff and you can be useful. Uh, because lots of times people who say that they know almost everything, they know just a little bit, and this knowledge is not very deep, and maybe they don't even realize that. So that's another thing too. When
That's what you said at the beginning, that people that just were looking at somebody who did this job and they saw that they knew
oh,
how
this
to
is
do
easy.
this. Like,
I can do
yeah,
it.
I can handle it. Right, yeah. And maybe you have some red flags of the clients with whom you don't want to work ever.
So first of all, probably the clients who don't pay.
Of course. So first pay and then work.
And within the years working here, you have some sort of a database of people who either didn't pay at all or they didn't pay the full amount. And the easy way to fix it is to get the deposit. Otherwise, one of my friends says they don't have, after the show they don't have a reason to pay you.
Right.
So that could.
So you take 90% before the show, right?
I would say that's the key.
Yeah.
And first of all, that motivates you to finish the work on time and do everything you do properly, and it motivates them to be responsible for if you need some information from them, and they don't give it to you. Again, they don't have a reason, but when they paid, they already that reason becomes way bigger. Or I would say clients that that are stressful about everything and they micromanage a lot. They try to go deep with every question, but in the end, they kind of just use your time and their time not in a proper way. You don't have time to get everything ready, prepare, and make the work you think that should be done this way, because you keep explaining every single small step or everything that that is not really necessarily has to be explained.
Like right on the project.
Yeah, when you working exactly on the project.
Yeah,
so the best way to do it is to convince this client how to that you have done these projects before. You have a perfect idea how to do it, and they have to trust you on this path. Otherwise, it will just be harder. And when you earn this trust, then it becomes easy. Sometimes you have to just do one project with them and then they start trusting you. Sometimes it's this way. Or you have an ability to convince them and to bring this trust during the first days or weeks of working on the project. I guess that's the way to fix it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Maybe you have some hardest seasons in your career during these 10 years?
You know, the hardest was COVID times when
there was no events, right? Or
yes,
you have
completely no events with audience.
Yeah.
Because what we do is usually having people in the room. Either it's music or summits or corporate or movie premieres. You still have people there, and where there's no people, you don't understand where this industry will go, what to do. But with several months, we saw big potential for online events, because lots of our clients said, okay, we don't know what's going on, let's wait. We told them we can definitely wait, but we have a couple ideas how to still use our potential and shift it, let's say, into streaming, into Then it became hybrid events because people loved streaming a lot. They
Yeah.
were happy to show what's going on, what's happening here in Hollywood, all over the world. And after the COVID, it shifted into that direction, and we actually opened a really interesting podcast projects and other studios that became like an evaluation after COVID times. So I would say it seems to be very hard in the beginning, but then we understood that that time taught us different things.
Mm-hmm. Do you have more options of your work during the COVID? It starts like you have some broadcasting, live streaming. You have this option after COVID, or
We had even holiday parties that were held in Zoom.
wow.
So all people from the company were in Zoom,
Uh-huh.
and each of them did some sort of a party at their home, and we had a DJ in LA.
Oh wow.
That was funny because because it was also different time zones,
Oh yeah.
and for us it was like daytime, and there was a little bit later nighttime. It was funny.
Right. So now you decide that your wife is your best partner, right?
That
So how many partners you had before, which comes to have
so
a
you
wife?
know I would
partner.
say the most real partner in my life and in my business, that's my wife, because I understood she's looking in the same direction as me,
Right. Yeah.
and she has the same values as me, and she already had done lots of for my company, but just sometimes helping, advising, or sometimes giving me the red flag. Now you need to stop. Now you need to hire an assistant. Now you need to do that, because she saw how certain times were very hard for me to even to stop doing everything myself, right? Because at certain moment you just keep doing this and this for your business, and you say no, I'm wearing too many hats, and it is a time because you start losing focus on certain things, and the service becomes not the way you envisioned it. You start into losing from small things, and then they could become bigger. So she was very great in telling me, look, that would may go really deep and make a lot of harm if you will not fix it on this stage. And the fix is to hire people and delegate certain tasks to them.
Yeah, you have a really wise wife.
Yeah, she is. And that became, put my mindset, yes. So she's the person who knows my business from the beginning, from inside, and whatever she gave me as advice totally worked. So why I treat this as my business? It's our business. So I told her one day, look, to open a company was kind of our idea. To run it this way was our idea. And you helped me from the very beginning. So why don't we call you co-founder? And she said,
Right.
really? Yes, yeah. And she was so
That's
happy
right,
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard some recently from my friend. He said that you don't need to have a partner to work with him. You need a partner to, if he can bring something in your business. If it can be investment, it can be some networking or something that can bring. Other way, you can just hire people. You don't need them to be your partner. And maybe you want to say something that I didn't ask you before. Maybe some silly stories that you had here or something like that.
So yeah, the silly stories. Silly story. Once we did movie premiere after party where Lady Gaga is supposed to be present, and it turned that she was very excited about it, and she wanted to make it the way she was very involved into all the process. and she wanted to make it the way she sees that. And normally when you get ready and when you do the walkthrough, the final walkthroughs with clients, you work with someone from her team or a manager or someone, and you show the result and they sign off, or they want to slightly change something. And she got there the first, and she was looked at the stuff that we did. She was very happy, and that was a little out of the blue because we didn't expect her to come. And we had a feeling that she is she's pretty tiny, and you can't understand how that power lives in such a tiny person.
Did you feel that?
And you feel it right away when she's in the room.
know,
You have a feeling of that. And I liked her idea. She said it should be very loud and it should be very dark. And we did it.
Oh, cute. Maybe some inspiration that you wanted to say to anyone who start own business, or they are trying to get work here, and who grow up here, or who just move, anyone, just any inspiration. What this camera you can say?
I guess so. I would say to people who work in probably any industry, who come here or who already live here, never stop of what you do. Never think that something is over. It's never over. Get inspired by anything you can get from the life, from every day, from every new project, every job, or sometimes even from the great weather you got here in California. Be flexible. Try to adapt to any situation you face, because then that could be very important soft skill that you will be very other people will be very grateful for it, no matter is it professional way or your friends. That's gonna be very important. And when you get to the point where you can inspire other people, start doing that, because some people really need that. And when you have that feeling that your experience, your knowledge has to get transferred to someone who is close to you, or someone you know or you don't even know, I think that's very important. And within my career, I taught so many people just because I started the same way. When I was in 11th grade, I started working for a production company and they started to teach me because I was so curious. I'm very grateful that they did that. And when I have a chance to teach someone the stuff I know, either it's just a life thing or professional thing, or any idea that is worth teaching, I would do that. So I decided to package it somehow into the educational maybe course that will be ready pretty soon, and just to pass this knowledge and this experience to other people, so they can also get to the results maybe faster or maybe easier, or
sometimes you need somebody who can influence on you, who can be your leader, because we need the examples to be more faster in our way to understand some things.
And I guess you're very right that we always compare ourselves to other people. Now we have a nice trend to compare ourselves to ourselves, but in the past. But it also still needs this inspiration from outside, from someone, let's say, who already there, or someone who is on the way there, and that sometimes we need an inspiration from outside that could at least show us a little bit what is there, what is there in the future that this person became, and you are on the way there.
Right, yeah. Sometimes you need inspiration or just some pushing or forcing.
And pushing most of these things that drive us could be very close. For me, the person who is always next to me is my wife, and sometimes her push is the most important.
I know, right?
And that could, knowing why are you doing that, and you have someone next to you who is inspiring you, motivating you, and gives you the idea of this purpose. That's important. I think the purpose of the life and purpose of everything we do, that could be the best motivation.
Right, yeah. So can you share the biggest goal that you achieve, like, in numbers? Like, how many people work now in your company? What was the biggest project you did in numbers? Like, what was the budget or something? Like, can you share? Or what was the most highest average of the year budget, you know?
We came up with the structure of a core that is about 35 to 40 people.
It's like full-time job.
That most of them, yeah, they are full-time, depending on what they do, is project leads and key players into departments like audio, lighting, video, decor, or something like that, camera department. That really depends on how many projects are we working right now. And working in this industry for so many years allow us to have a big roster of key people and people who are freelancers. We have maybe about 150, 170 people who we already worked with, and we know exactly who to put on which project. So this person will be great for awards show, this person will be great for music festival, or these people really know what to do with the movie premieres. So that also brings us to the situation when we know how to put the right crew members together, and that from this core of 40 people to probably around 150 to 200 people working on the same day with your 7-8 projects.
How many projects did you have per one day? The most?
I think nine events one day there was, and two of them would be very large, like a summit and award show with a crew of 40, 50, 60 people. 3 would be medium kind of stuff, and a couple will be tiny.
So now it's like more than twice less, right?
More than 3 times less. I would say more than 3 times less. And working on also
Can you compare, like, what was a 980 and 300 events? What was the budget of this year and this year?
You know, the budgets are totally different. So it's not the...
I know, just for people to understand what the...
So the budgets could be from 5,000-10,000.
No, budget of the whole year
of
your events.
So the budgets could be, I would say, the revenues.
Revenue, right?
The revenues for a really good year could be closer to 7-8 mil.
Cool.
And revenues right now are closer to 2-3 mil.
Okay. Anyway, it's really inspiring, and it will be maybe more harder time this year. I think so. I don't know what is your thoughts about this year.
I think this year.
But then in the crisis, the small company that can afford this crisis, they can grow. So It's a good time
I think for small businesses, they have more options to adapt and to be flexible than huge companies.
Right.
I guess even
And this is our time to grow.
Yeah, I think that's the key for us to see what could be done better and how to maneuver through these times. And it's going to be way harder for the bigger ships to do that.
Right. Yeah, it's very. I think it will be important to somebody to hear all of that. To just came here and you build such a good business here, and even for people who grow here, it will be really inspiring to hear you. And thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. It was good. And maybe you can say something shortly one more time for inspire our audience.
I would say just get better every day, and I think that's the key. When you have this idea, what this day could bring to my life, and how I can impact it, how I can become a little better, even just very little could be, maybe sometimes even just to have a proper rest, just to sleep.
Right.
That could be even better than something else. So just get better every day.
Yeah, no rush. Thank you. It was
Thank
cool.
you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.